is the transition on Atlantic Television Network. Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike has called his successor as Rivers State Governor Simenalaye Fubara for his disrespectful comments on senior members of the bar and the bench. Wike also deplored the governor's ill treatment of three prominent citizens of the state who went to extra mile to get him elected. He made the comment at the launch in honor of the 10th Legislative Assembly of Rivers State. Wike stated that Fubara continued to attack the like of OCJ Okocha, Sergeant Awuse, and Chief Alabrabra, all of whom he once acknowledged as three wise men that stood firm to make him a governor. Wike celebrated lawmakers in Rivers State for their resolve to fight against ingratitude and protect democracy's scared principles. He criticized the governor for exhibiting ignorance on judicial and legal matters, stating that nothing should be brought to the State High Court. The FCT minister called on the Nigerian Bar Association to protect the legal professions and safeguard the judiciary, urging lawyers to stop collecting money to attack judges on national television. He praised the lawmakers for their determination to fight against ingratitude and protect democracy's scared principles. The former governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, also accused those claiming to be crusading for his castration within the People's Democratic Party of digging their graves. He defended Rivers as an asset and warned the PDP presidential candidate in the 2023 election to pack his things and go home. On the leadership crisis in PDP, he said they all agreed that the acting national chairman, Umar Damagun, should complete the tenure of the former chairman, Iyorachi Ago. He said that they never zoned to north, west, northeast, or south. Instead, they decided to go to the courts to seek interpretation of the party constitution. Analysts faulted Atiku's comments. Analyst has faulted comments made by former Vice President Atiku Abubakar on just concluded local government election in Rivers State. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Open A, a political analyst, Emi Fraga, stated that Atiku's statement concerning the just concluded local government poll in Rivers State is politically motivated.
That are very more critical. One is applauding what I call a selection at the state level. And that the same man that is applauding that selection is hoping to contest because he has been contesting. And he's also hoping to contest again, maybe probably 2027. The question I want to ask him, if INEC, peradventure, condone this form of election, will Atiku accept it? Will Atiku say free, credible, fair, and celebrate the election, and even thank INEC and thank the president for doing well, ensuring that such an election was held in Nigeria? Will Atiku accept it?
The analyst also decries political high-handedness during the exercise in Rivers State.
These politicians are doing. They will support what will destroy them today. Then later they will come and begin to lambast the Nigeria state. That Nigeria is the problem. Meanwhile, you are laying the foundation and encouraging a bad behavior, a deviant behavior that has kept the Nigeria state where it is today. In this state of quagmire, suffering, and commotion everywhere. How can you say an election that was conducted, even with a court order, that barred the RISIEC or INEC for giving RISIEC the voters register, which is the primary foundation of the local government election in the state, and you are saying it's a well-conducted election? You are happy with it?
Recall that Atiku had, in a recent post on his X account, commended the people of Rivers State for their steadfastness in the face of that adversity and ensuring that the recent local government election was peaceful. Suspected gunman has killed one police inspector as well as ex-parties and 3 other workers of the quarry company located at Ihiaube Ogbone in Owan. East local government area of Edo State. Eyewitness said a police sergeant was also shot in the leg during the attack, while a female staff of the company is still missing since after the incident, while the police inspector, whose identity is yet to be ascertained, with the sergeant were orderly to the company's parties before the incident. When contacted, the Edo State Police Command, who confirmed the attack, said only 3 persons were killed, while Yamo Moses, the public relations officer of the command, who spoke to the newsmen in Benin City, said the dead persons include 1 police inspector and 2 others. Moses also said an investigation into the incident is ongoing, while efforts in collaborations with the military to apprehend the suspect are in progress. While the ex-parties later died in the hospital and the injured sergeant is currently receiving treatment in an undisclosed hospital. Cross River State Police Command has arrested 6 suspected Amazonian rebels after invading Akampa local government area of the state. The command spokesperson A.Y. Gri said the suspected separatists were arrested during intelligence information, describing the first as a breakthrough for the law enforcement agency. Adding that the suspects, whose age ranged from 18 and 36, were paraded with various weapons, improvised explosive devices, both charm and flags. This is coming after 2017, Amazonian rebels emerged in armed conflict with the Cameroonian military in what is known as Anglophone crisis. A rebel after attempted to set up government in exile and supportive militaries to expert control over part of the claimed territory. 2-story building under construction in Amagu-Okobo, Ndome, Omoya North local government area of Abia State has collapsed. The building, which had just been roofed, collapsed on Saturday evening, but unfortunately no worker was inside their house when it caved in. The cause of the building collapse has not been established officially, but some residents of the Anangwa or Kobo Ndume, who spoke to journalists after the incident, blamed it on substandard materials allegedly used by a site engineer, while others blame it on poor supervision of works. The resident disclosed that workers were supposed to start on the interior part of their house immediately after roofing, but unfortunately it was postponed to a new date. This is coming after a 3-story building still under construction collapsed in June in Obingwe, Nkwa, West LGA of Abia, killing 5 site workers. Imo State Police Command Anti-Kidnapping Unit has dislodged a suspected IPOP ESN terrorist camp in Nempi, Oru West local government area of the state, leading to the arrest of 29 suspects, 25 males and 4 females. A statement signed by the police public relations officer Henry Okoye said the operation was initiated following the apprehension of a key suspect, Akukuru Nana Emmanuel, 25 years, last week in Ngbidi, and his vital confessions enabled police operatives to locate and dismantle the camp. The police said during the operative, several dangerous items were recovered, including 4 pump-action guns, 2 local-made revolver, 5 locally made pistols, 3 AK-47 magazines, a point-of-sale machine and 20 rounds of live cartridge, 1 Wise SUV and local bulletproof charm used by the criminal syndicate. The Imo State Police Command urged citizens to remain vigilant and report any suspicious activities towards ensuring public safety. Adding that the police will continue to take decisive actions against criminal elements in the state. Tragedy struck Ndibo, a community in Akwa South local government area of Anambra State, where more than 16 persons, mostly youth, were reportedly killed by gunmen. Eyewitness said the incident happened as a result of cold clash in the community in view of the video circulating online, displaying growing image of persons lying dead on the ground. The police in Anambra State is yet to make any statement on the matter. Officers of the Lagos State Environmental Sanitation Corps, also known as KAI, arrested no fewer than 17 miscreants in various areas of the state on Saturday. A State Commissioner for the Ministry of the Environment and Water Resources, Tokumbo Wahab, who disclosed this in a post on X on Sunday, said 17 miscreants from Ile Ekpo, Abule, Egba, Ikeja, on the bridge, and 8 were apprehended by the operatives of the Lagos State Environmental Sanitation Corps. This is coming after on Friday that KIA officers arrested several miscreants and squatted around Uzumba, Mbawiye in the 80 Osa area of the state. Lagos State Police Command has released the protesters arrested during the commemoration of the 4th anniversary of the End SARS protest. The protesters, who were over 18 in number, were nabbed at the Lekki toll gate and moved to the State Criminal Investigation Department at Panti in the Yaba area of Lagos, and the State Commissioner of Police, Olurenwaju Ishola, was also available at the SCID to see to their release. In a tweet on Sunday, the command spokesperson Benjamin Honduyan tweeted via X handle that the protesters had been released. Ahead of the November 16 governorship election in Ondo State, the opposition People's Democratic Party has again demanded for the redeployment of Independent National Electoral Commission resident electoral commissioner in the state, Oluwatoyin Babalola. The call for the redeployment was contained in an open letter to the national chairman of the INEC, Mahmoud Yakubu, and attribution to the call for the REC removal to her affinity and connection with the state and its people. The party said that the Babalola is a bona fide resident of Ondo State with her family permanently domiciled at number 3 Majekodumi Street, Ijoka area of Akure town in Akure South. According to the party's state secretariat, Oluseye Jimmy Babalola remains therefore an established resident of Ondo State. Olujime said the request becomes imperatives for the preservation of the nation's fragile democracy and restoration of public confidence in the Commission's integrity. All Progressives Congress has emerged victorious in the Saturday local government election in Kaduna State. According to the results announced by the Kaduna State Independent Electoral Commission, APC won 23 chairmanship seats and 255 councillorship positions, and while declaring the result, the chairman of the State Electoral Commission, Hajaira Mohammed, said APC defeated 7 other political parties who participated in the election. Kaduna State Governor Hubasani expressed satisfaction with the conduct of the local government election across the state, adding that the election was fair, free and peaceful, with only minor issues reported in the 3 polling units and wards. Zamfara State Governor Dawood Lawal has decried the menace of drug abuse in the state, adding that it is not an individual problem, but a societal epidemic undermining the very foundation of communities. The governor, who discloses at a one-day sensitization campaign on the danger of drug abuse in society to 500 students, representatives organized by the Zamfara State Substance Abuse Control and Prohibitions of Human Trafficking Agency in collaboration with the World Health Organization, Ngwojuo, said the impact of drug abuse is felt across generations, dismantling human potentials, tearing families apart, and compromising the future of the youth. Governor Lawal, who was able represented by the Secretary to the State Governor Malam Abubakar Mohammed Nakwada, said his administration has taken the fight against drug abuse very seriously and will neither defer it nor fight it passively, stressing that it is a battle which demands immediate, decisive and sustained action, taking into cognizance of its multiplier effect. He also appreciated World Health Organization, other development partners, security and law enforcement agencies all across other critical stakeholders for their unyielding partnership and continued support for their initiatives, stressing that the state government will continue leveraging on their expertise towards achieving sustainable development in the state. Presenting a merit award to Governor Lawal, the state coordinator of the World Health Organization, Dr. Mukhtar Raji, commended Lawal for patronizing human capital development in the state. Sokoto State Police Command has arrested 18-year-old Abba Aliyu for allegedly kidnapping a 2-year-old boy. According to the police, Aliyu is a neighbor to Ibrahim Shehu, who reported that his son had gone missing since October 13, 2024 at Badon Yaya area, Sokoto. The police, in a statement by the spokesperson of the command, Ahmed Rufai, said the adopters of the boy demanded 2 million naira for his release via phone call, disclosing that a sum of 500,000 was paid before the victims regained freedom. The police also said Aliyu, who was arrested at the Badon Naya behind Zamson filling station, Sokoto, confessed to have kidnapped the victim. You are watching the transition on Atlantic Television Network. We return after the short break.
The people of Maiduguri need your help. A catastrophic flood has engulfed the city, leaving 1 million residents stranded and fighting for entire communities are submerged, with people trapped inside homes and on rooftops, cut off from food, clean drinking water, and essential supplies. Health experts are warning of a potential outbreak of deadly diseases, and medical facilities are out of commission. The situation is dire. Helicopters, boats, and high-riding trucks capable of navigating the treacherous, waterlogged areas are urgently required to reach the countless men, women, and children still awaiting rescue. The Nigerian media is issuing a desperate plea to the government, humanitarian organizations, international actors, and citizens across the nation. Step in now, before it's too late.
Welcome back. This is a transition on Atlantic Television Network, and now the rest of our stories. President Bola Tinubu has mandated Vice President Kashim Shettima to lead Nigeria's delegation to the 2024 Commonwealth Head of Government meeting in Salma. The Senior Special Assistant to the Vice President on Media and Communications, Stanley Nwokocha, in a statement on Sunday titled VP Shettima to represent President Tinubu at Chojim 2024, said Vice President Shettima will join King Charles of England and other world leaders from 56 members countries at the phase CHO's GM to be held in the Pacific island of Apia, Somia from October 21 to 26. The leaders will deliberate on the theme One Resilient Common Future, Transforming Our Commonwealth, and the team will focus attention on how member countries will enhance their strength through resilience, unlock potentials, leverage the Commonwealth advantage, and foster a connected digital Commonwealth. At this meeting, Nigeria and other member countries will also elect and appoint the next Commonwealth Secretary General in line with the agreed memorandum on the establishment and functions of the Commonwealth Secretariat, revised 2022, and the principle of the regional rotation. The next Commonwealth Secretary General will come from the Africa region. They will discuss how Commonwealth countries can work together to build resilience, boost trade, innovation, and empower the Commonwealth's 1.5 billion young people for the more peaceful and sustainable future. And Vice President is a platform provided by the Commonwealth Business Forum to further attract investors to Nigeria as global experts from businesses to recommend and champion solutions to global challenges. In view of the decision of Nigerian youth commemorating the the 4th anniversary of the NSAS protest today, some of the activists who led the masses action has called for a full implementation of the report submitted by various judicial panels of inquiry set up after the protest. This is coming after, in October 2020, thousands of youths gathered in major cities across the country to peacefully protest the constant harassment, killing, and extortion by officers of the Defense Special Anti-Robbery Squad, a unit of Nigerian police. The protests culminate at the Lekki Toll Gate in Lagos, where several youths were reportedly killed and many others severely injured following the intervention of the Nigerian military and in the aftermath of the protest. Judicial panels were set up across various states to assess and review the protesters' demands. 4 years later, protest leaders have expressed deep regret that many of the panel's recommendations remained unimplemented. Speaking in Lagos State, coordinator of the Take It Back movement, Adekunle Tofik, demanded the immediate arrest and prosecution of all those responsible for the killings of the protesters, and also called for the release of all NSAS protesters who were unjustly imprisoned. Another activist and lawyer, Inibege Effiong, highlighted the lack of progress in police reforms, noting that widespread corruption, extortion, harassment, and illegal detentions remains prevalent. 2,421 complaints of misconduct have been filed against personnel of the Nigerian police force between 2021 and the first quarter of 2024. The developments came from agencies including the Ministry of Police Affairs, National Human Rights Commission, as well as the Complaints Response Unit of the Nigerian. The Public Complaints Commission allegedly misconduct over a wide range of issues, including harassment, extortion, and lawful arrest on detention. Press report, the Ministry of Police Affairs handled 431 complaints between July and September 2022, resulting in a disciplinary action for 81 officers, resulting in the dismissal of 7 of them, while the Lagos State Police Command dropped the list with 327 cases, followed by the Federal Capital Territory Command with 210 complaints. Throughout the period, at least 45 police officers were dismissed for various offenses, including extrajudicial killings, extortion, and brutality, while 3 policemen were dismissed for allegedly killing one Koyom Ishoya in Kwara State. Speaking on the issues, the Executive Director, Rules of Law and Accountability Advocacy Center, Okechukwu Nwaguma, lamented the title has changed despite government's promises and establishment of judicial violence. General of Police Kayode Ebetokun has condemned his rising case of jungle justice across the country. He has ordered the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of the Force Criminal Investigation Department to investigate the incident and bring all persons found wanting to face the full wrath of the law. Decrying the crisis in the menace, the police in a statement by the force spokesperson Ayuwa Adejobi highlighted the case in Edo State where a mob attacked a police station and burnt some suspects. Today is on October 13, adding that in view of the recent spate of jungle justice in some parts of the country, the Nigerian police force has condemned dangerous and abhorrent trend and cautions the general public on the consequences of such a criminal justice administration, the rule of law, and the global. Adejobi added that one of the police officers who ran to rescue the driver was killed by the mob, while a police team trying to prevent the execution of jungle justice was gruesomely attacked, which led to the killing of the police officer ASP Augustine Asukpai, attached to the Lagos State Command by the group of violent mob on Saturday, 19th of October 2024 in Agege, Lagos State. Adejobi said the IUI condoling the families of the victims, ordered the DIG FCID to fish out the criminals involved in the dastardly act, while the Inspector General of Police IGP Kayode Adeolu Egbetokun sympathized with the families of the departed souls and directed the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of the FCID to investigate these incidents and bring all persons found wanting to face the full wrath of the law. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has warned that progress would continue to elude Nigeria since the country has become a burial ground for unimplemented policies. Olusegun Obasanjo expressed worry that Nigerians appear to take 1 step forward and 3 steps backward due to leadership inability to implement policies. The former president spoke at an event in Abuja, stressing that Nigeria is not bereft of policies to achieve greatness, but blamed leaders for the country's lack of progress. Leadership of the Labour Party has demanded the release of the national vice chairman for the Southeast, Mr. C.K. Igala, who was arrested by the police allegedly on the order of Abia Governor Dr. Alex Oti. The party made this demand in a statement issued by the Deputy National Chairman Dr. Ayo Olurufemi in Abuja that Igala was arrested in Abia while holding a meeting with some party leaders when they were surrounded by policemen and weeks away without any warrants of arrest. Alternatively, Olurufemi called for the party's officials to be charged to court within the next 24 hours as required by law. Federal government is discussing with the World Bank the possibility of securing a $500 million loan to support basic education. This is according to the program information document for the loan project obtained that the loan is part of the World Bank's hope for quality basic education for all initiatives which aim to improve learning outcomes and address the challenges of out-of-school children. The project is a key component of Nigerians' effort to reform its struggling education sector, and the federal government is expected to receive receive formal approval by March 2025, and program information documents revealed that the total cost of the operation is $554 million, while the World Bank will cover $500 million. The remaining $54 million will be secured with the source from the Global Partnership for Education grant. The project aligned with the Universal Basic Education Framework, focusing on expanding access to early childhood education in primary and junior secondary schooling, and the UBE program addressing Nigerians' critical educational needs, including allowing that 17.1 million children aged 5 to 14 are out of school, and will be tackled disparities in enrollment, with northern region lagging behind their southern counterparts. Under the financial structure, the Federal Ministry of Finance will lead the implementation in partnership with the Federal Ministry of Education and the Universal Basic Education Commission, while the World Bank loan will primarily be deployed to improve teaching quality through training, support community-based schools, and provide grants for better management and infrastructure. Operatives of the Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency has arrested two businessmen identified as Ihe Jirika Emmanuel and Igwa Victory over alleged drug trafficking. Ihe Jirika, who frequently traveled to Thailand claiming to import fish into Nigeria, was arrested on October 15, 2024, while attempting to board an Ethiopian airline flight to Thailand via Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The statement by the agency spokesperson Femi Babafemi on Sunday said when Ihe Jirika was taken for a body scan, the results show he had ingested illicit drugs, which were later confirmed to be cocaine, while Victory was arrested at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos, after arriving from Brazil via Addis Ababa during the inward clearance of passengers on an Ethiopian Airlines flight. He said a body scan conducted on the 26-year-old businessman revealed that he had injected drugs, adding that they subsequently excrete a pallet of cocaine weighing 22 grams, while the Nigerian-Canadian nurse identified as Usman Grace Kadiyat Oluwami was arrested on October 4 by NDLA officers at Lagos Airport during the inward clearance of Air France passengers arriving from Toronto, Canada via Paris. During a search for luggage, Babafemi said a total of 17 parcels of Canadian load weighing 35.70 kg were recovered from her. Medical and Dental Consultant Association of Nigeria has issued a 21-day ultimatum to stakeholders, including the federal government, to address its demands, or its members will withdraw their services nationwide. A communique issued on Sunday at the end of the extraordinary Visual National Executive Council meeting. The agenda of the meeting was to appraise the discrimination of its academic and professional qualifications, the medical and dental fellowships, mostly by Nigerian university administrators, adding that it is the umbrella body for custodian or specialist care and medical education in Nigeria. The communique is signed by the MACAN's president, Professor Mohammed, and a Secretary General, Professor Adiayabu Ibrahim, said the NEC observed that with dismay, the intentional attempt and absurdity to benchmark the requirements of the Vice-Chancellor position to the attachment of the PhD without regards to the medical and dental fellowship, adding that the University of Nnamdi Azikiwe Medic Alumni Association has floated the requirements listed by the university in appointing a Vice-Chancellor for the institution. The NEC said the requirements are unfair, unlawful, and discriminatory to holders of the medical and dental fellowship qualification, which are both an academic and a professional qualification, as it is a required qualification for the employment of lecturers into the faculties of basic clinical sciences, and dentistry. The council also observed that the failure of the government to harmonize the retirement age of the medical consultant to 70 years, especially in the face of increasingly need for both medicals and professional duties of these medicals and dental specialists, and the failure of the government to complete this of harmonizing the payment of the emolument of the clinical medical lecturers with consolidated medical salary structure to correct the significant shortfalls in their enrollment, entering levels, and pension. Reports. Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project that has Vice President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to stop the use of weapons by the Department of State Services and other security agencies in the country and focus on ways to revive the national economic hardship. Sarab said the free expression of fundamental human rights is significant and should not be suppressed, accusing the Tinubu-led government of threats of baseless lawsuits against human rights founder, activists, journalists, and other citizens. A statement signed Sarab Deputy Director Kolowale Oluwadara, the organization urged Tinubu directs the Department of State Services to immediately withdraw the baseless defamation lawsuit brought by their prosecutor against the organizations and management staff, adding that it is wrong for security agencies to intimidate, harass, and silence human rights defenders, activists, journalists, and other civil society actors, which will weaken representative democracy, deepens impunities, and undermine the rules of law. This is coming after the September 19 officials of the DSS reportedly invaded Sarab Abuja office barely 24 hours after the organization urged Tinubu to leverage his leadership and authority to instruct the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to promptly reverse the hike in the pump price of the petroleum motor spirits, commonly known as petrol, as it is retail outlet, and the security outlet said its agents were detailed for the routine investigation, adding that the officer's action has been misinterpreted and harassment and intimidation. Sarab equally urged the federal government to embrace the rule of law, which will in turn entail respect for the human rights of Nigerians, adding that where there is a culture of rule of law, there is likely to be less corruption. Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment has inaugurated the Nigerian Export Promotion Council's Export Skills Acquisition Center in Apapa, Lagos, to empower women and youth. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Doris Uzoka Anita, described the center as a key step in empowering Nigerian youth and women through skill acquisitions and bag making and other accessories, adding that there is in line with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda and a job creation and poverty alleviation, stressing that the center is driven by the commitment to addressing fundamental challenges hindering export growth and economic diversification. The minister also said African population is expected to double by 2050, with over a third of world's youth residing on the continent, and coupled with the opportunities provided by the African Continental Free Trade Area and the increase in demand for the ESNC-SC reflected the importance of equipping Nigerians with the skill to tap into global markets. The minister said African fashion industry worth $31 billion accounts for just 1.2% of the global fashion market, valued at $2.5 trillion. And the center will offer specialized training in product development, quality control, and digital skills to ensure the product meets international standards. Co-Sanctions Regulatory Commission has expressed the need for reduction in the number of economically invaluable airports built by state governors in the country, stressing that the proper infrastructure duplications of such projects. The ICRC Director General Dr. Jobson Ewalefon, who discloses at the second joint public-private partnership unit consultative forum on the theme using people the renewed hope agenda in Nigerians infrastructure delivery, brought together stakeholders from various sectors to discuss strategies for infrastructure development. This is coming after 6 weeks government, including Ekiti, Ebonyi, Jigawa, Yobe, Nasarawa and Bayelsa, spent about 160 billion naira on airport projects that opposition politicians and aviation professionals classifies as unviable. Airports, Lagos, Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, and Port Harcourt International Airport, Port Harcourt, Rivers State, that generate about 80% of the revenues for the federal airport authorities of Nigeria, while other airports consult to fund. To resolve the issues, the ICRC DG said proper national planning via project integration and collaboration with the subnational would eliminate the proliferation of unviable economic importance of sharing experience and how to overcome challenges to drive economic growth, while again the Nigerian Government's Forum also conversed for broad adoption of public-private partnership, particularly at subnational level, to deliver critical infrastructure that can drive economic growth and improve citizens' quality of life. The chairman of the NGF, Abdurazik Abdurrahman, said PPP reach Nigerian significant infrastructure gaps, while highlighting the roles of infrastructure as the cornerstone for economic development, stating that PPP offers innovative solutions for delivering essential projects efficiently. The Bank of Nigeria released $547.7 million at the official exchange rate of $1,503 of June 30, 2024 to Nigerians for the importation of food items in the second quarter of 2024. The amount is a reduction of $142.48 million of 20.6% from $689.88 million recorded in the first 3 months of 2024 and $80.76 million or 8.93% from 903.95 quarter one when converted to naira. This implies that the CBN released a total of 1.73 trillion naira for food items importation in 6 months, according to data from the bank's quarterly statistics. This comes after the federal government's plan to reduce the price of food commodities through the implementation of zero duty on selected basis food items in increasingly becoming difficult to achieve and a challenge by the alarming increase in the average price of imported food items, which rose to 878.3 price points index in September 2024, reflecting broader economic pressures. On July 8, 2024, the federal government announced a 150 days duty-free import windows for food commodities to ensure a reduction in the food inflation in Nigeria. The food commodities include maize, husked, brown rice, wheat, and cowpeas, and programs was meant to help cushion the effects of various factors contributing to food security and price hike in the country. President of African Development Bank Group, Mr. Akinwumi Adesina, said the major challenges facing Nigerians' manufacturing industries was the high cost and unreliability of electricity supply. The AFDB boss said loading, shading and the inconsistent availability of electricity has resulted in high and uncompetitive manufacturing costs, adding that most Nigerian manufacturing companies are providing their own energy with a high independence on generators, diesels and heavy fuel oil. He quoted the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria as saying that industry spent 93.1 billion naira on alternative energy in 2018, adding that today no business can survive in Nigeria without generators, and it was a solution that called for a government attention to boost the country's economy, highlighting AFDB's contributions. Adesina said the bank has invested massively in the power sector to support the implementation of Nigeria's power sector recovery program by providing $200 million for the Nigeria electrification project, reflecting on Nigeria's 64th dawning after independence. The AFDB boss said, being the largest black nation on earth, Nigeria should carry the hopes and aspiration of all black people in the world, yielding to become a beacon in the world. Adding that Nigeria needed to develop faster for Africa to develop and should not remain a disappointment to the African continent. Still ahead, international tidbits. At least 87 people were killed in an Israeli attack in the city of Beit Leha in northern Gaza. Israel says it's checking reports of casualties and causing Hamas authorities of sharing extra-graded figures, while in Lebanon, Israel also resumed a strike on what is said were a Hezbollah attack in Beirut's southern suburb, with residents in Hazard Hek and had date order to evacuate early on Sunday. The latest attack comes after a drone was launched towards Benjamin Netanyahu's home in Kassara, northern Israel, with the Israeli PM described it as a grave mistake and asked Iran and its proxies would pay heavy price. Iran said Hezbollah was behind the drone strike, while the Thai Lebanese Army says the 3 soldiers have been killed after a military vehicle was hit by an Israeli airstrike in Nabotia, southern Lebanon. The attack happened on the Hanin road, which connects the border village of Hanin Ebel to the nearby town of Hanin. Israel was not yet commented, and Lebanon Army has historically stayed out of the cross-border clashes between the Israel and Hezbollah, but a number of its troops have been killed in Israeli attacks since fighting between Israel and Hezbollah escalated last month. And that's the size of the package. I am Immaculata Irikana. Join us on Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X Atlantic TV Net. Also watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Do remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress.
From the lines across the ocean,